Thanks so much. Senator Almodvar, I was surprised to see in your report that it seemed to be a revelation to your committee that men's suicide deaths are 75% of the Canadian total. 13 years ago in 2010, I produced a TV commercial in memory of my late husband to raise awareness about mental illness and suicide prevention. And among the facts noted in that 2010 ad was that men die by suicide 3 times as often as women. I and many other mental health advocates in Canada have spoken nationally about this topic for more than a decade. And in the short section of your report about boys and men, it starts with this sentence, quote, "The committee received less testimony regarding boys and men and recognizes that this population should be considered in further depth in future studies on suicide prevention in Canada," unquote. Senator Almodvar, your committee, as you mentioned, had only 5 meetings with witnesses on this topic. Why didn't you have more meetings to receive that type of key evidence about men?
Senator Almodvar.
Thank you, Senator Batters, and thank you for your continued advocacy on this matter. I have not watched the particular TV ad that you did, but I will undertake to do so. Our committee has a work plan, and we dedicated 5 meetings and meetings to discuss the report, and we felt that even though we recognized the shortcoming of not hearing more witnesses on the suicide rate of boys and men, we did point it out in our study, and our recommendation reflects the findings of the committee. Thank you.
Senator Batters.
Yes, just one more question. Thank you. Senator Almodvar, your recommendation number 2, which talks about, quote, targeting populations that are currently overrepresented in Canada's suicide rates, unquote. So in that short list, your committee included, quote, persons with mental illnesses, unquote. Senator Almodvar, another fact noted in that 2010 commercial I mentioned was that 90% of those who die by suicide have mental illness. So it's not a subset of suicide deaths in Canada. This is nearly the entire group of suicide deaths in Canada. So why did your committee include that in your targeted demographic list?
Senator Almodvar.
Senator Batters, I understand what you're saying. Mental health is likely an underlying cause for suicides, regardless of which population they are in. I take your point, but I believe the committee did recognize the importance of mental illness as a condition, and we've noted it in the recommendation. Wish you had, in retrospect, I wish you had been called as a witness. That would have helped. And hopefully the next time we study this matter, we will remember to do so.